I want to bring in Shrayana here. Shrayana, Prahlad Kakkar was saying this change that you're seeing is just in urban India, cosmopolitan India, where you can watch this. Would this resonate with women? And you've researched and worked with lots of women in rural India. This unpaid labor is a global phenomena. Yes, many studies on this. Is this more pervasive in India?
Sarah, I'll leave some of the numbers perhaps to Namrata and Mitali because I know they've recently written papers and it's very exciting work. But I'll say two things. One, for the purposes of my research, and I'll link Shah Rukh Khan to this question of time poverty of women, many rural women that I interviewed over 15 years, when I'd ask them, why do you like Shah Rukh? What they would say is because he shows up in the kitchen, and he does in many of his songs and ads and movies. Even in the last interview he did, he was making chicken for his wife and David Letterman, if anyone remembers this. And he was chopping vegetables in DDLJ. And I think I'm using that as an example to say this unfair distribution of domestic work, this feminization of utter exhaustion, is actually a complaint very much felt across generations, not just in urban areas, but rural as well. And you see women pushing against it. I think what's different though, Sarah, and this is really important, is there are no aerial ads or washing machines catering to the infrastructure needs of rural women. I think the solutions when it comes to rural areas or tribal Jharkhand, for example, will essentially involve improving infrastructure when it comes to water access. So much of what women are doing is spending time going and collecting water, firewood, all these kinds of raw materials. And that affects education
for young girls, for example.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so to me, I think absolutely the question of how unfair and lopsided the story around unpaid work is holds both in urban and rural. I do think aspirations in rural India are shifting as well. There are girls out there saying we want men who will chop carrots and help us with all of this kind of work, right? But what the solutions may be different, Sarah. It might be, thinking about water, energy, infrastructure in much more creative ways to reduce this time burden on women.